Are there any drawbacks to playing two quarterbacks in a game?
It depends what they're, how well they play. You know, I don't look at any other position. If a guy is playing well, performing well, or two guys are playing well, performing well, you're okay. If one guy is clearly better than the other, then you want to play the better guy. And it's pretty simple. I mean, I played two before. Bernard Robinson, Tate Forsythe at Michigan. They were both young kids, and then Pat White and Adam Bednarik at West Virginia. That's how smart I was. Pat White didn't start, I don't think, till like the 7th game, and then he took a hold of the job and became one of the best ever. Probably should have started him earlier, but he was still learning. He played better at the end than he did at the beginning. But you know, this thing will separate itself eventually.
Do you still see a scenario where opening game you could play more than one guy, or do you think it'll be down to one?
Yeah, could play to 3, play 4. I mean, I don't think it'll be to that. I think it'll, you know, we got 3 more weeks of practice. I think it'll start to separate itself a little bit by then.
Do you look out there though and see more talent than when you first got here?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, it's a fair question. I mean, I looked out the first year we had Kadeem Carey and Matt Scott. Those are 2 NFL players, so there was some pretty good talent there. But I think, do we have defensively? I mean, we got a whole lot of different bodies than we did the first year. And then it's some of the skill positions, we got more bodies, you know, more speed. So, but I think our opponents do too. I think, you know, in our league, the Pac-12 may be more talented this year than it's ever been. I'm talking about ever. So we better be better.
When you arrived, what do you remember thinking that you had in Terrence Jones?
Well, when I first got here, yeah. Well, we didn't know much about him anyway, other than he was a walk-on. And that, you know, he was a hard worker and looked like he'd be a good contributor on special teams, which he has been. And he still will be. But now he's got an opportunity to be, you know, one of the starting tailbacks. So he's a tough guy and he loves football. So that's why he's the kind of the guy that every program needs more of.
Are any guys close to maybe earning scholarships like he did?
Oh yeah, we got a handful. You know, there's a couple guys right now I'd like to give a scholarship to, but the NCAA's got I don't mind telling you, it's got a silly rule that a walk-on, even if he's not recruited, you can't give him a scholarship his first 2 years, where he counts as an initial. You know, which is silly. I mean, you should be able to me, if a guy walked on for a year, you ought to be able to give him a scholarship and not have to count against the initial number. So it's ridiculous that some of the you know, the NCAA and its infinite wisdom of being out for the welfare of a student athlete. I know I'm going on a tangent. If a guy pays his own way for a year and he's an unrecruited walk-on, or even if he's a recruited walk-on, you should be able to give him a scholarship in the 2nd year.
So Jake Matthews falls under that category.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a joke. Jake Matthews is earning a scholarship right now. But because of a silly rule in NCAA, I mean, we've got to be able to try to get a waiver for it or something. It's not right. You know, I'm talking from, you know, I was a former walk-on that was able to get one my 2nd year, but back then we had a different set of rules.
Right.
So I don't know who's making that decision, but they'll get mad at me for criticizing. Do they have a fine? Do they have a fine thing? I don't think they have a fine. Like, I can't say anything about the Pac-12 now. No, it's not Pac-12.
Pac-12's perfect.
He touched the ball.
He touched the ball. You don't want to go there.
I'm not going there. Not touching that. No, sir.